Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sonic and the Glitchless Gauntlet. This is the two-day event focused on the Sonic the Hedgehog series and the Glitchless and No Major Glitches speedrun categories, or, in the case of Team Rose in Sonic Heroes, the Limited Tech Selection category. I just want to remind everyone that if you have missed most of the runs from today, or if you've missed all of the runs of yesterday, they are going to be up on our YouTube. If you go over to youtube.com/gamesdonequick, you'll be able to find these when they hit YouTube. Otherwise, you could find all of our other hotfix content, and you can find previous Sonic April events as well, like Sonic and the Shiny Things, which was the inaugural event, or Sonic and the Side Quest, which was last year's. But let me not delay you any further, because we do have our next game coming up. We are going into Sonic Heroes with Big Mikey as the runner here, and there will be no glitches in this run, just very limited tech. So go ahead and Mikey, take it away.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Big Mikey _, and I'm here with Joey, Freefallz YYZ.
How's it going, everybody?
Yep, me and Joey both run this category, Team Rose Limited Tech Selection. This is a Big the Cat. He's looking for
a normal
Froggy.
Big the Cat.
Yep. This is a glitch. We will not be seeing this in the run, but it's customary to open up the run with that. So let me hop over to a fresh file, and we'll go ahead and start the run. Yeah. That should be good.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I'll have chat open, so if anyone has any questions about the run, I'll do my best to answer them.
yeah. Starting with like what LTS means, we will have enough time to talk about that and the concept of LTS during the first stage. So I'm ready for a countdown whenever you guys are.
Yep, we absolutely are. Feel free to count us down, and we'll get the run rolling.
All right, let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So, Joey, would you like to introduce LTS as a concept?
Sure, yeah. So this is Sonic and the Glitchless Gauntlet, and we don't quite have a fully glitchless category in Heroes. The closest thing we have is Limited Tech Selection, which gets rid of two of the main glitches that we use to skip most of the levels in the game. Those being the bot boost, which you may have seen, where you kind of fly across the level in flight formation, and also power flying, where we see Big the Cat fly through the air and also skip huge chunks of the level. So those are the two glitches we're not going to be seeing today, and instead we're going to be focusing on this game's amazing movement. It's really a cool speed game. I think you guys are in for a treat. So this first level here is exclusive to Team Rose. It's called Seagate, and it's meant to be a tutorial where Omochao kind of teaches you the ropes and how to play the game. And as you can see, there are a ton of text boxes that Mikey keeps running into, and it requires him to mash A through them. And what's actually interesting is that you can mash through them as quickly as you want. There's no like speed cap. So one of the trickiest parts about Seagate is doing all this platforming and mashing through the text at the same time. So ironically, the tutorial level ends up being actually one of the harder ones in the run. But yeah, Mikey on good pace here still. And yeah, you can see a lot of these sections. The game wants you to defeat the robots, and then it opens these cages. But because Big has the belly flop, and you can chain that directly into Cream and fly up, we end up skipping a lot of the combat in Seagate. And you end up finishing it pretty quick.
It's a lot of mashing. It's hard to talk when you're mashing. I'll be able to explain some things in later levels. So thank you, Joey.
I'll carry through Seagate.
Absolutely. So here's the first like real level we get to see.
So Sonic Heroes, as you probably all know, or maybe don't, I'm not sure, but You have 3 characters. You're able to switch between them pretty seamlessly. You have your speed character, which in this case is Amy, the flight character Cream, and the power character Big. Most of the run is done in speed, as you might imagine, but you actually end up using the other two quite a bit as well. One bit of tech that's exclusive to Team Rose and Team Chaotix, but not the other two, is this ground excel, or these belly flops that you see Mikey doing with Big. One really fast way to get speed in this game is to switch to Big and then belly flop the ground and switch to Amy, and then you end up taking off. So we'll be seeing that a lot. Right there, you just saw him do that. And then you see Mikey rolling down hills as Amy, which speeds you up just slightly.
And a weird little quirk about Sonic Heroes is you will always be going the fastest possible if you're holding directly forward. So there's sometimes I will be repositioning the camera just so I can get a straight forward line.
Right.
And that's
Sometimes
the
it's
fastest.
faster. Instead of like turning the control stick, you just hold forward the whole time and turn the camera so that you're always holding forward.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where I will just be moving the camera instead of the analog stick so I could be holding forwards. It's pretty neat, and it kind of changes the way we think about certain level design. Because there's some camera angles we get that are never really seen in casual gameplay.
So Ocean Palace has these doors that we have to open. There's a really quick way you do that with two big belly flops like that. Actually, deceptively difficult to do that.
Yeah, it took
looks
me a
easy,
very
but
long
it's not.
time.
Yeah.
Lots of practice on these doors.
Ocean Palace is probably one of the coolest movement stages, I would say. And then you get to do this hammer jump, we call it, across that gap, where if we get a lot of speed as Amy and then approach a ledge, if we press B right as we leave the ledge, we'll end up kind of floating across the gap with Amy's hammer twirl.
And would you mind explaining some of the pauses I'm doing?
Yeah, so earlier I mentioned it's faster to roll down hills. One thing that's exclusive to Team Rose about rolling, however, is that if you let go of B, Amy will do this hammer animation that slows you down, or doesn't even slow you down, it just stops you completely. And so one workaround we have for this is whenever you see Mikey roll, he's gonna pause, let go of B in the pause menu, and then unpause. And then that lets you unroll without that animation. So if you ever need to chain rolls together, you're gonna see him doing these pauses. And that turtle section that he just did is the first LTS exclusive section. Normally you would bot boost through all that.
And coming up is our first boss. Essentially, you run through two stages that are stylistically very similar, and then a boss for that area. So we had those two beach kind of stages, and now we have the boss.
Yep, Egghawk is pretty simple, as you might imagine, being the first boss. Mikey's actually going to start it by going backwards and getting an invincibility power up in the box behind him. And that lets you kind of do damage without worrying about taking any hits. And also the benefit of going backwards is that Egghawk will stop at this first beach section right here. He'll do some extra damage with Cream there, and then with invincibility, it's super easy to just finish him off like that.
Yep. With invincibility, you are pretty much a walking hitbox. So I jumped up there with Cream, and I was just spamming the fly button so I could stay on him as much as possible to do the most damage. And then you fall down, and you let him spin himself into you as you're mashing the attack with Big.
I see someone ask which story is the fastest. Team Rose is the shortest. Yep.
Recently, there was a little bit of a war between the second between Team Sonic and Team Dark on which one of those is fastest. Team Dark had it for the first time in the game's history only a couple months ago.
No doubt about it.
And
Yeah, for the longest time, Team Dark was the slowest run, and they had a lot of optimizations and new tricks
Yeah.
found, and they actually ended up being faster than Sonic for a while.
it was
which
wild.
Yeah. Yeah, that is wild.
This is one of the hardest stages in the whole run, admittedly. So I might be a little quiet.
Yeah. So Grand Metro, we have these blue pathways that we sometimes need to activate. Other times we can just clip through the laser wall like that and do another one of those hammer jumps I was talking about. And 36 ramp is very good.
That was awesome.
That was a very good start.
Getting enough speed to go through that laser field thing is quite challenging.
And then coming up
this
here, we
checkpoint.
have bridge clip. So instead of knocking this bridge down like we normally would, we're gonna get a lot of speed with cream and get underneath it.
Oh, good thing I
And
did
there,
that.
I told you, dude. I told you.
You told me. I didn't believe it.
Yeah, I was telling Mikey before the race, like, I think you should grab the checkpoint before bridge skip, because normally that sends you all the way back to the start. So, I'm glad we were able to avoid that. Right here, you can clip through this door.
Ooh.
Oh, that was, that was
Very
close.
close.
Yeah. So, if you ever get a rocket excel towards a door that's thin enough to clip through, you can sometimes just roll right through it as Amy.
Here we go.
I know that our tech, by the way, really enjoys when you switch to big and just my turn.
My turn.
Yep, so coming up here, Mikey's gonna do a team blast to get rid of not only the enemies in front of the door here, but also the ones behind it. And he was actually short on team blast meter there, so he ended up he ended up doing a team blast glitch, but don't tell anybody.
I know it said glitch. I know it said glitch, but it's
But
okay.
yeah,
There's
it's
no
just
glitches.
a really quick way to build meter by pressing thunder shoot and character switch on the same frame. Yeah, 231 Metro, not bad.
Right.
Grand Metro is actually one of the levels that doesn't get affected by bot boosts and power flight. Well, I guess there is a crazy power flight that got found, but
With
it's
Team
not
Rose.
like there's like in the loop at the
it
start. I
loses
think
time,
Deku
yeah.
was trying to power fly out of that, but
Is it the one that
Most
reaches
brothers.
the second goal ring?
oh, maybe that's what it's for. Yeah. All right, so right here, we come up on the power plant elevator. Team Rose actually spawns here, unlike the other teams. There is a way to skip this elevator that Mikey's gonna go for here. He has to hit a pretty tight frame window on this. He got it. Let's go.
It wasn't the
So-
fastest variant of it, but it still saves about 5 or 6 seconds over not
Yeah,
getting
that
it
was
at all.
good. So when you run out of flight meter as Cream, you can do what's called a flight excel boost, where you just press A. And if you do that right as the flight meter runs out, you can get a tiny boost upwards, and that's actually necessary to skip that elevator. And so the rest of the stage is pretty short. I think you're gonna go for the catch-up flight here, right? On the rail?
Yeah, I'll do it just to show it off.
Okay. So yeah, he goes on the rail here,
Oops.
and then
I missed it.
So normally, when you jump off the rail, if you switch to cream really quickly and then fly, you kind of do this sort of diagonal boost upwards. That's really fast right there.
I just
You
missed
can
my
kinda-
my second X press. I play a lot of this game in claw, so double tapping with my index finger is not always the most responsive.
Right, yeah.
It's such a cool tech, though. I will be doing some catch-up flights throughout the run.
Yeah, so I guess... Oh, wait, we have Team Sonic coming up.
We do.
So
Cross
team
your
fights in
fingers.
this game are notoriously annoying to deal with. Because you might remember that you have a really hard time knocking them off, but a lot of the fights have strats like this, where the teammates just fall off. So in that one in particular, Mikey breaks the
813's
boxes
really low.
behind him, and he also puts out a hitbox that the characters are programmed to just jump right over, and they forget to make sure that there's floor underneath them, so they just fall off and we get to skip by it.
Oh, I saw someone in the chat was talking about my cat boo tattoo. Yeah,
Let's go.
I was not expecting to be as into the Sonic speedrunning community as I ended up being. I love it here so much. It's so amazing. And I got that cat boo tattoo.
I love the cat boo, dude. So good.
It's such a good design.
Yeah.
So simple, but so expressive.
And here's where Boneless Big happens.
Yeah, that's where Boneless Big was earlier. So Mikey wants to avoid this downhill section until this part where he can just get into this tube. And that skips this entire pinball table, which can be very annoying to deal with, so that's nice. We actually end up skipping most pinball tables in the run. This next one he's about to do is very interesting. He's going to get above the table first, and then he's going to thunder shoot Amy and Big to where the goal ring is from far away. And because of the way that this game works on pinball tables, when you switch characters on a pinball table, you end up going to wherever they are. So right here, he switches to, oh my god. Dang, so yeah, he was at the goal ring there, but Amy just had a little too much speed,
jumped.
and he ended up running off the platform, so I'll go for it a second time.
One more time.
Yeah. But you basically saw the concept there. You shoot your teammates over to where the goal ring is, and then thanks to pinball physics, you can just travel right to where they are. This setup looks good.
Yeah.
There we go.
That number is tripled when there are 3 balls in the machine.
It's hard to react when you overshoot it, but if you undershoot, sometimes you just run right into it.
Right, yeah.
But the overshoot, there's no ledge on the side, so you just walk right off.
Yeah. Sometimes they land right on the goal ring. So like the frame you switch to them, the level just ends, and it's really funny because it's hard
That's
to
the
explain
best.
that. It's just like, yeah,
That's
the
the
level's
best.
over. But
People
there
think
you
you,
got
like,
to see
warped
Amy
or
actually fall
something.
to the goal ring.
Oh, I almost forgot. Move the controls
And
to the right.
this level is pretty notorious for,
It's very
I mean, the
wonky.
same pinball physics apply here, where whenever you switch characters, you end up going to wherever they are. In this level, though, it ends up being a lot less helpful because you end up switching characters on accident sometimes and end up going backwards in the stage. So you have to be very careful to avoid doing that.
And when you switch to a character that you're not playing as, and it moves you back really far in the level, sometimes your other characters will instantly start teleporting towards you. So once you do that, you have to switch back like immediately, or else you lose some progress.
So here's the one
This is the
uphill
worst
pinball table that we can't skip here. Hopefully it doesn't end up taking too long.
Not bad.
There we go. That was clean. Yeah, you can end up getting stuck on that table for a while. Anyone who's played this game knows that pinball tables don't necessarily control the best. So it's always good to get through those as fast as we can. And so Mikey has taken 2 checkpoints in this stage so far, both as Cream, and that's very much on purpose because with level 2 Cream, we can get rid of these guys really quickly like this. And then
You gotta go for the door clip.
We might see our second door clip here. Kind of a rough pattern for it.
Yeah, that was kind of bad, but they've repositioned.
Nice. There we go.
Nice. And this is still not a bad pace, even though it's such a wonky stage.
This has been pretty good. This is one of the sections where the controls can troll you sometimes. You can fall into that pit there and lose big.
This game tries to kill you so much.
Yeah. So right here, he's gonna hold left and fall out of this tube early, and he can make his way down to where the end of the level is here. Yeah, this spot in particular is one where it's very easy to switch character. Oh, let's go. Very easy to switch characters and go backwards on accident, like I was saying. A cool little thing Mikey did there at the end was thunder shoot the goal ring, which is actually really tough to do because I think you have to land and switch to Amy at the same time.
Yeah, you have to be touching
works?
the ground with Cream, and Amy has to be in the goal ring with the thunder shoot. A lot of the times, if it doesn't work, you're just not touching the ground.
Dr. Eggman!
Him again.
So now coming up, we have the third type of boss fight, quote unquote, in the game, which is just robot waves. So for these, it's really important to get level 2 flight as soon as possible for the same reason that we saw in Bingo Highway, because we can just kind of melt robots really quickly with level 2 Cream. Thankfully for Team Rose, the RNG to get that to happen is pretty lenient because we can just get the balloon at the top of the level right away in Team Blast, and that gives each of our characters a level up right from the start. So all Mikey needs is 1 flight drop, and he just got it there. And now the rest of this should be pretty easy.
The only bad part is sometimes your teammates really want to just touch this spring right here, and they want to hang out with it a lot.
Yeah, that spring can definitely troll you.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And then these last 2 waves, Big can handle just from the center. Very easy robot carnival compared to the other teams.
Yes.
Pretty nice. Also, shoutouts to Freezy Pop in the chat, the robot carnival master.
If I ever have any questions about Robot Carnival, I ask him first.
That was quite a challenge.
Right. So,
Alright.
Joey, would you like to start explaining some things about the rails? Actually, we could wait until this cutscene starts because Big says something really funny.
Yeah, we need to give Big the floor for a second.
Yeah. Please, Big, take it away. Any second now.
I love GameCube load times, don't you?
I smell froggy.
All right, there we go.
I wonder
I smell
how John
froggy.
St. John felt doing that voice line, because from what I recall, he did not enjoy doing Big's voice. But when you're a voice actor, you kind of take the work that you can get because you need to make, put foot on the table somehow.
Right. He probably looked at the script and he's like, seriously, guys? Really?
I smell froggy.
Yeah, so now we come up on the infamous rail sections that you probably have dreaded as a kid. So one way we can get a lot of speed on rails is by switching between Amy and Big really quickly. And that's because if you remember, if you press B in this game on rails, you do this little animation that speeds you up. And that animation gets immediately canceled every time we switch characters. So whenever we need speed, we can just hold B and switch characters like that. And it keeps doing that like speed up over and over.
Right, and press the A button to jump from rail to rail.
Right here, you can jump off this pole early and save a little bit. Just like that.
Oops. Not the best character to hit that spring with, but oh well.
And then these rainbow rings here, if you just go through them as cream, you end up not getting the animation for them. Saves a little bit of time.
Normally my movement does not get the checkpoint, but I figured for safety's sake, might as well go a little out of the way to get a little checkpoint. There's not too much that can go wrong, but famous last words, you know.
Right, yeah. It's actually funny because you get a lot of people streaming this game that are like, oh man, I hated the rail levels growing up. They were the worst. And honestly, they're pretty relaxed in the speedrun once you know what you're doing. Like, they're not too bad.
Yeah, there's only one part in Bullet Station, which is the next stage, that is pretty contentious. But other than that, the rest of it's totally fine.
Are you talking about the floor?
I'm talking about, well, yeah, the floor is pretty rough, but I'm talking about the cannon cycles for speedrun specifically.
Yeah, so Bullet Station, at least like the first 30 or so seconds of it, are essentially an auto-scroller because the cannon that you get into about 30 seconds into the stage is on a global cycle.
Oh my.
So we're just gonna make our way over there and then see what we end up getting. You can go right underneath those jellyfish robots with Amy as long as you roll. You won't be able to capture your characters.
And this is the average cycle that you would probably see a runner get, is at 31. 27 is very doable, but it's pretty tight, and 24 is like, we're still coming up with ways to make 24 consistent, and it's
I
tough.
think right now only the world record has a 24 cycle in it, but it is possible. Yeah, and then that was actually a rail switch Mikey did there to like jump up really high like that. Even though there's no rail next to you, it's useful to rail switch to get that height.
You can just do a normal jump, but it is pretty precise.
Yep. And that is actually, in non-LTS, that's a level where we fly through the air as big, straight to the end, straight to the end of the train section.
Yeah, right from the
That one's
beginning
pretty
to
great.
the end.
Like,
Yeah. Deku is so based. True, Mikey Cool Money. True.
Here's one of the tougher bosses. Should I say the hardest boss? Maybe. I think Egg Emperor is
Besides
harder.
Team Chaotix, yeah.
you'll be ready.
You'll see Team Chaotix very soon, and yeah, it's a doozy.
Before Sonic
Yeah.
does. Then he'll be
Yep, so Albatross has 3 different phases to it. And I think the thing that makes this boss fight hard is that any little mistake kind of throws off sort of your plan, I guess, so to speak. Right there, ending phase 1 that quickly is really good because now he knows that Albatross is going to be on the right here, and then he can catch him back on the left again. If you don't end phase 1 right away, kind of his swaying back and forth pattern gets thrown off, and it makes the fight a lot tougher. So that was a very clean one.
Yeah, I probably lost 1 second right at the beginning. Sometimes it's you get a really fast kill on, or really fast first cycle, but everything else went totally as planned. That
And you
pretty
saw-
much averages you out to a 27 every time.
Yeah, you saw
Or
phase
28
3
like
was
that.
very quick too. It just takes 1 fire dunk to kill him.
Other teams in this game wish they could do that consistently.
Yeah, true. All right, Frog Forest is a cool level. This is another one that's very different in LTS. Another case where, actually, as of recently, you can both bot boost and power fly through this level. It's kind
A
of up
little
to you.
short on this, but
But LTS is very cool too, and you're actually going to see a lot of camera tricks Mikey has to do because normally the camera isn't the best for a lot of these skips that he's going to be doing, such as right here. where he jumps up that vine early, the camera actually has a tendency to like 180 on you really quickly in that spot. So Mikey's actually locking the camera, I believe.
Yeah,
to
that's
prevent that.
something that's also used in SADX runs with free cam. If you hold both the
Right.
triggers, it locks the camera.
Very useful piece of knowledge. And then right here, we actually skip by this spring to run up the wall. It's slightly faster to do that. And then we're actually going to make a very big jump coming up. I believe you use cream for it, right?
I do.
Yeah. So there's a number of ways to get a lot of distance, and this is one of them. Just belly flop, pull out the umbrella, switch to cream, and jump, and you can get all the way over here. And you end up skipping a lot of the end of this level, just thanks to its layout.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of camera manipulation going on in that one, because auto cam isn't the best for it. Luckily in this game, you can just tap one of the triggers and it gives you like full control. It's really nice.
I love that. I tried playing the PC version of Heroes, and you have to go into the menu and swap it from free cam to fixed cam, and all that menuing is so. I'm just not used to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we had
Mikey's gonna.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We had a super hard mode run a few months ago by Nacho the Adventurer.
Oh yeah.
That was the PC version that actually demonstrates the free cam usage there, and it was the never before seen afternoon special. If anyone wanted to see what that run looks like, you can check it out on the YouTube. If you want to see another flavor of Heroes after this event.
For sure, yeah. PC's got a lot of cool stuff in it too. It's a very different run. And yeah, that's an unfortunate thing that can happen, skipping that spring there. You actually see Mikey using the very left side of the ramp so that the ramp doesn't send him into the spring that's coming out.
And normally I wait to see I'm running before I switch, but that time it kind of slipped my mind.
Yeah. I've definitely had that happen to me my fair share. Yep, and then Mikey will... Oh, Team Blast here, nice. Yeah, so you can do this room with one of Big's combos or Team Blast. The benefit to using Team Blast is that you get a speed boost from it, so you end up doing this last loop section really quickly.
All right.
Yep. And he was actually able to homing attack the goal ring off of that spring. And I only recently learned that that's because of how much speed you have going into the spring that determines that.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, would you call it like a stacked momentum kind of thing, where you have that much momentum going through, so the homing attack is ready for you to lock onto that?
I think so, yeah. Something like that. All right, so now we're coming up on not only the hardest boss in the game, but probably the hardest in video game history, Team HOTFIX. So
Oh, yeah.
he's going
I need to
to
focus.
very quickly tornado them and then wait.
Sorry, Joey, I need to focus. Okay,
Sorry,
never mind.
sorry.
But it won't
Okay.
be so easy from here on.
That could have went way worse, so that was really good.
If you try to do that at home, you will get it.
Sorry, but there's no time for this.
If you watch a more recent Team Sonic speedrun, you can see what they do for Team Rose when they fight them. And if you load up the game and you try what they do, you will also get it. And it's so fast and it's so easy.
Yeah. One of the reasons I really like Team Rose as a speedrun is that their team fights are they're relatively like easy compared to the
Yeah.
other teams.
Don't you want to find time?
This is another one of the harder stages, only because of a certain door clip that happens about 10 seconds into the level.
Yeah. So you saw Mikey do a door clip in Bingo Highway. I talked about it a little bit, I think. He essentially just wants to rocket excel at this door and then roll through it. Perfect. That was perfect. And that ends up skipping actually a lot of the stage. It wants you to break the boxes off to the right and go through this whole gravity thing and find a switch to open the door, but it's a lot faster to do that, obviously. And then here, he's actually falling to where this orb is, and that can be kind of scary to do.
My capture card does not have the best contrast, so when it gets really dark there, I am completely in the dark. I can just see where Big is.
Yeah,
so I kind of have
you
memorized...
essentially want to be right up against the wall, but not press into it because it'll push you like off of the level pretty much. So
your whatever analog direction you start holding into the wall, you get pushed away from it essentially.
Yeah.
47 is pretty nice.
That last section is very, very quick. They didn't put any kill planes anywhere, so if you don't have kill planes and you start like high in the stage and then the goal ring's low, it's just very easy to skip all of it.
Okay, we're finally inside. I'm kind of scared.
All rise for the national anthem of Sonic Heroes.
Heck yeah. I love Mystic Mansion.
That was very scary. You have 0 rings for the very beginning of this level.
Nice. Ring
Oh my
box
god, this song is so good. I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the times I run this game, I have game audio off. Because hearing Cream and Amy, not Big, I love Big. But sometimes I listen to other game soundtracks, but every time I put the soundtrack on for this or I turn the game audio up, I just love this song. This is always the best part.
Yeah, this one's the best, easily. Pretty short level with throws as well. You saw him go through the wall earlier. That is very easy to do, actually.
There is no
tough
collision
at all. They just like didn't put a wall there for some reason. And then right here, he's gonna do another belly flop into Cream to get a lot of distance like that. And then another goal ring thundershoot. This guy's a Chad, dang.
1 second.
I'm so happy I want to tell everyone.
And now coming up is the second robot wave boss fight. This one is pretty similar. We're going to be doing a team blast at the start, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to be building up meter really quickly and then team blasting for an instant Cream level up. And then hopefully... Well, actually, for this one, we don't need level 2 Cream.
No.
This one is pretty
it's
much
all
always
big.
the same. Yeah, no RNG.
Let's do this for Takula and Frosty.
So yeah,
Are you ready?
you can homing attack all these enemies, but it's way faster to just do this. And then this next wave, he'll have 4 egg pawns spawn around him like this. And then you'll go up to the cage and do that same thing and hopefully get all the flappers here. Nice.
And I hit that orb with Big so that when I land, I have my teammates on my shoulders and I can just immediately do that. And I look up at the sky and time this team blast for when the robots start falling down. And then I stand in the middle and I do it again. Not with a team blast, but with this attack.
Yep, 51 is pretty typical for that. Like I said, there's no RNG, so it generally goes about the same every single time. Which cannot be said for the other team's Robot Storm. Those are a whole different can of worms.
Having ran All Story LTS on my stream, it is such a task to memorize every team's Robot Carnival and every team's Robot Storm and be able to just do them back to back to back without getting them confused because they're all very different.
Yep. All right, so about halfway through this stage, is going to be something that is LTS exclusive. It's actually a warp trigger that they left in the game for whatever reason. I'm not sure why it's there, but it's pretty insane. It just kind of like skips an auto scroller section really quickly. The reason that it's yeah, no,
Go for it,
go
Joe.
ahead. The reason that it's in LTS is because it actually ends up not being fast. It's actually obsoleted by a bot boost. So even though this really cool trick is in the game, and it's not actually fast, so we ended up putting it in LTS just to show it off in a category. And I would argue it's not technically a glitch because it's just a trigger that happens to be there.
You could say it's a level exploit.
Yeah, I would say so. But yeah, Egg Fleet, normally one of the longer levels. It actually probably is still one of the longer levels, even with the warp, I would say.
And I will take this checkpoint just to be safe. Because the warp happens right after this ship.
Yep, so he's going to jump over that ramp, which is notorious for being clipped through and just killing you. And then he's going to make his way up to the top of this ship and then get a Team Blast. And like I briefly mentioned earlier, Team Blast gives you speed shoes. So he's going to be using those to get into this out of bounds area here, and then set up for the warp. So the warp trigger is just diagonal, like up left here in the air. And you're gonna see he's just gonna suddenly appear where the auto score would normally end.
Oh no, I missed it.
A little short.
Yeah. I think I was a little bit to the right.
I think so, yeah. But yeah, this is a trick that used to be Rose specific because we thought we needed speed shoes to get up to that area that he was in. Very recently, Sonic and Dark, a runner named Revolucion found a setup that gets all 3 teams up there. So now we're doing that in 3 different LTS categories now and saving a lot of time with it.
I just want to double shout out Revo. Revo is a good friend of mine and is delightful and absolutely absurd at the games that he touches.
Yes, he is.
Revo changed this game forever, like quite literally.
Yep.
He found so many new bot boost setups. We actually previously thought that bot boosting was only possible on like 2 different types of enemies in the game. And Revo found out that it's actually possible on not only every enemy in the game, but every damage source in the game, pretty much. So, yeah. Shoutouts to Revo for sure.
Whoa. He does them off of some laser beams.
He even told me that he was labbing one in Hank Castle off a torch.
Oh my.
I'm like, if you can make that work, you are a madman. So we're coming up on the final stage of the run. This one in non-LTS has more power flights, so it ends up being a little different in LTS. Actually, some cool movement in this one.
Uh-oh.
Neat little backup here if you fall. You can just use the slope to catch the rail if you fly up there.
All right, and there's a spring right there, also as a backup.
So on these platforms, we're going to be doing hammer jumps, or at least on this one here.
Yeah.
You can see we just float all the way over here. And then right here, we just get a bunch of speed and switch to cream, and then skip a lot of this rail. And that was very good movement there. Another belly flop into cream, get past this whole thing. Oops. on this last ship, we actually go all the way down, and there's a little platform down here that's like super hidden. I don't even know why it's there, but it's very useful. And then right here we have an E2000 robot that is actually pretty difficult to destroy. Mikey used Cream's Thunder Shoot to stun him, and then Big can take care of him pretty easily. But if you don't stun him first, he ends up taking a very long time. He shields your attacks, he shoots lasers at you. So it's very nice that we have a quick way of dealing with him. And then, yeah, we're coming up on the last rail section here. There's just 2 spikes that he has to avoid.
All right. All in all, this was a pretty good run. We're gonna do the final boss here. Should probably take about 45 seconds if I play it poorly, and about 30 seconds if I play it well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Egg Emperor, especially at the end of a really good run, is pretty stressful because
very nerve-wracking.
Yeah, he operates on cycles that each take about 10 seconds. You'll see him kind of move away from you and shoot these blade beams at you, and then he'll yell charge, and then you have to parry him, and then you can do damage. And each of those takes 10 seconds. So ideally, you do it in about 1 or 2, and sometimes in worst cases, 3 or 4. But the fight ends up being pretty similar regardless of how long it takes. You end up getting 1 cream level up from a power-up bubble that's actually behind Emperor right now. But right away, he's going to try and get behind him and grab that.
Nice.
And then the second one's in that balloon up there, so he's gonna wait for Cream to come back so she can fly through and get that. And then he's gonna wait for Emperor to come back and then use level 2 Cream.
Oh no, neither of them stuck.
Yeah, sometimes they don't attack him. But yeah, you saw there, he did his charge attack, and since he was big, he could avoid taking damage like this. And then that's your opportunity to do damage. And that's time.
That's time.
Everyone, get your GGs out for Big Mikey. Ooh, that was a sick run. That was actually, let me see.
Impossible! No!
Probably about a 45, it's a 45? It's 14. There we go.
Okay.
So I'm gonna...
Dr. Eggman, please stop.
45,
think
15,
that's
totally underestimate.
I think that's sub 40 IGT, right?
Yeah,
A
probably.
45?
No, it's probably a 41.
Oh, okay.
Still a very, very, very fun
So
run.
good.
I have one more thing that I've prepared for you guys. I want to see everybody in the chat. If you have some dancing emotes, I want to see all of them. I want all of us to go crazy in the chat. I'm going to play the song on guitar.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right.
And also, if
August
you
coming
haven't
through good.
followed the runner and the commentator,
Thank you guys so much. And thank you
Let's
so much to
go.
Amber for putting on the Glitchless Gauntlet. Thank you so much to Joey for commentating with me. Thank you to all the tech, everyone who put this stuff together. Awesome. Completely awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, and thank you both for being here. The commentary was great. The run was great. The cover was awesome. I know for a fact that, like, you know, people were jamming out in chat. Everyone loves this. So thank you for giving not Team Heroes. Thank you for giving Sonic Hero Team Rose a really good showing here at the Glitchless Gauntlet. And if y'all haven't, follow Big Mikey and Freefallz or Joey over at their Twitch channels. I've been posting in chat throughout this whole endeavor. But seriously, do you have any other shout outs you want to make real quick?
Shout out to the whole Sonic Heroes community, Sonic speedrunning community as a whole. Such an amazing place, so many amazing people. I am so grateful that it's the game that I stuck with. It's just so good.
Yeah. Thank you guys for putting this together. This has been awesome. Thanks to chat for being awesome. They were really popping
You guys
off
were
during that
awesome.
song.
You guys were awesome.
And I guess the last thing I'll say is if you're looking into picking up a Sonic game, you should consider Heroes. It's a really fun time, and I think if you follow through with it, you're gonna really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Honestly, we have one more run for y'all tonight as we are coming up to the close of this excellent event. This has probably been my favorite event yet. After three, this is my third time doing this one. I'm really happy for this to be finishing off with Sonic Generations. I think it is the best way to wrap up a glitchless history of Sonic games with Generations with Frockenok. We'll be right back. Get up, walk around, get some water, take care of yourselves. Maybe if you really enjoyed that performance and you enjoy our content, consider subscribing. It'd be really helpful. It helps support our weekly hotfix content in addition to our one-off events that we like to do. So we will be back in just a few minutes. So stick around for the final run of Sonic and the Glitchless Gauntlet.
All right. Bye, guys.
See ya.